What's up? We are here at the Lincoln Park Historical at the Historical Museum in Lincoln Park, Michigan, with curator himself, Jeff Day. How's your day going so far, Jeff?
Going well, thank you. I'm looking forward to this podcast and your questions, and especially your visit here to the museum today. Thanks.
When did you start liking history?
Probably in grade school. My parents did a lot of camping when I was a young kid. We would go up to Mackinac Island. And Mackinac Island, which some of you have probably visited yourself, has a lot of history. So I think from probably the age of 5 or 6, I developed a love of history.
What?
Hey, Devin.
That's interesting. Okay. What is your favorite artifact item in the museum?
Actually, I can show that to you. If I can just stand up for a second. This is a Native American stone tool that was discovered in the Ecorse River.
Hold on a second. Can you start over it? This is a Native American.
This here is a Native American stone tool, hammer used for pounding. It was discovered in the Ecorse River in the mid-19th century, so that would be like in the 1800s, which was a very long time ago. We don't even know how old it was, when it was found. It could date back several hundred years, but this is probably one of our more prized artifacts here in the museum because it was found here within the borders of Lincoln Park by Richard LeBlanc, who was one of the early settlers in this area. So this is a prized possession of ours.
I like that.
We do too.
How long have you worked here?
I've been here about 14 years. Started out as a volunteer, helping out the group of women that ran the museum at that time. They were all a little bit older than I was, and so most of them have passed away by now. So in the last maybe 10 years, I've taken on more responsibility here. And so I am the current curator, and it's a job that I enjoy very much.
Awesome.
Good night.
Have you worked at other museums?
Yes, I have. Before I came here in Michigan, I worked at the Henry Ford Museum, Greenfield Village. I know that's a place that many of you have probably visited yourself. Most of you have, I think, here. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. I worked in a lot of the buildings on the campus of Greenfield Village, and I got to learn a lot about history of this area, Detroit and Michigan. And then before that, I worked in Los Angeles at the Museum of Western Heritage, which is in an area called Griffith Park in Los Angeles, and I worked there for several years. So that was my kind of my introduction into museum work after having a degree in history when I graduated from college years ago, long time ago.
Are there any historical or vintage games here? Vintage games here?
We actually have a display over behind you guys. It's a lot of early toys and games in that cabinet that's lit up. When you have a chance, I hope you'll take a look at that. There's a lot of them are things like jacks. I don't know if kids play with jacks anymore. You guys play with jacks? With the balls and the jacks? No? Marbles? You play marbles? Okay, a lot of these are older games that kids used to play out, on the street. years ago, but still, some of them still do.
So what's your favorite game?
What?
My favorite game.
No, yes.
Oh, what is your favorite game?
Uno.
Uno. That's a card game, isn't it?
Yep.
All right. Card games are good.
What is your favorite game?
My favorite game, boy, when I was growing up, when I was probably about your age, my favorite games were Trivial Pursuit. Probably heard of that, maybe. It's a lot of questions about things that are kind of obscure. A lot of people don't know, and so the more memory that you are able to develop as a young kid, it helps you in games like Trivial Pursuit. That kind of thing.
Cool.
How about Boggle? Have you ever played Boggle?
What is Boggle?
Boggle is a game with a lot of letters that are all mixed up, and you have to make words out of those letters, as many as you can. So the number of letters that shows up after you turn it and roll it around, you might get like 12 letters, and out of those 12 letters, you have to create 3 or 4 or 5 letter words. It's really interesting. It's a challenging game. You might enjoy that.
Where or how do you get the items from the museum?
Items come from us through donations, the folks that live in this community. So when you walk around the museum, whatever you see here has been donated to us sometime in the last 50 years or so. The museum opened in 1972 in a smaller space than this. Have you been to the public library? You know where the public library is? Just a couple doors down. In 1972, the room in the back of the library was built on, and that is where the first museum was located, in that back room. And they were there for, gosh, close to 20 years. Then they had another location for a few years before this building was acquired. This building, some of you may or may not know, was the old post office in Lincoln Park, the one that you're in right now. And so this building became available about 1991, 1992, and that is when the Historical Society of Lincoln Park raised the money to purchase it. And so we have been in this location for about 30 years now.
Thank you for thinking with me today.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye.